Hello, Internet. It is I, the Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today, we're going to be talking about Death on the Nile. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. Okay, I guess I can mention the cast because that's probably the easiest thing to do. The cast, although I wouldn't call them draws per se. They are still, extremely recognizable to the public eye, particularly Gal Gadot. I mean, she's Wonder Woman for crying out loud. Everybody knows who she is. All right. There's also like others here that are recognizable. Lolita Wright from her role as Shiri in Black Panther in the MCU. There's I'm not gonna mention his name now. I'm gonna save that for later when we get to the cons because there's a lot to go over with that. But I'm gonna skip it for now. Uh, Kenneth Branagh. He's not only making this movie, but he's like the main detective guy in it. People know who he is. And there's Russell Brand. People know who he is. I remember him from Hop as the voice of like EB, the Easter Bunny. I think he made a live action cameo in that movie, talking with EB. So it's basically talking to himself. Why am I remembering Hop? That movie deserves to be forgotten by history, and it's been mostly forgotten by history. And to that I say good, good riddance. But yeah, with this cast, they're not draws per se, but there's enough recognizable ones where if you group them all together, it'll be like a really appealing package. It's kind of like what happened with Knives Out, Dune, where you have enough recognizable people, put them all together, and people be like, hey, that looks interesting. There's a bunch of actors I know, and I might want to watch that. So, yeah, and also Murder on the Orient Express, the movie that came out before this, that also qualifies too with the whole ensemble helping out the movie. So, yeah, like I think the cast for the most part would be a pro when it comes to like I don't know, not drawing power but visibility. I don't. But I guess I would consider that a pro, just a recognizable cast. So that's pro number one. Pro number two. I mean, the first movie, which was Murder on the Orient Express. I gotta find here we go. This was in 2017, which, God, 2017. Remember, that was a lifetime ago. Like things were so different back then. Like it's crazy. Ugh. But anywho, Murder on the Orient Express came out November 2017. Went up against Thor Ragnarok. Like the week it came out the week after that. But even with that, it still made a bit of cash. It made 102 million domestic, 350 million worldwide. How would this not get a sequel, right? And I know the reaction for the movie wasn't that great at all, but apparently enough people were interested to justify the existence of another one. So having a mostly successful predecessor is a good thing, I guess. So I would consider that a relative pro, not a strong pro, but relative. So that's pro number two. Um, Pro number three. This I guess this is the only when it comes to like genre and like direct competition. This movie really has none out there. It's in a league of its own because every other movie out there is either like you have a comedy in the form of Jackass Forever, you got action movies in the form of Blacklight, Spider Man, and Moonfall. And then you got Marry Me, which is just straight up romance. This isn't that. This is more of like a thriller, like a who done it mystery. So there's nothing like that out there right now. So that's definitely gonna benefit it, I would imagine. So yeah, I would consider that a pro right there. Lack of direct competition. Uh, Another pro is that Monday is Valentine's Day. Even though this movie isn't explicitly romantic, like it'll still benefit because every movie benefits from Valentine's Day. It's like one of the more positive holidays of the year when it comes to money. Like even like movies that have zero romance in them will still get a boost from Valentine's Day. So it has that to look forward to. Not to mention next weekend is President's Day weekend, so that's even more holiday money down the line. So you got 2 straight weekends of holiday money, which is always a good thing. So I would consider that a pro right there. Uh, Anything else? Can't think of anything too much else. Well, there are reviews like they're okay. Like they're nothing great, but they're nothing terrible. I think it's like in the mid high 60s, which is perfectly acceptable. So it's like whatever. Like they don't really matter too much, but I mean, it won't tank the movie, so there's that. But I wouldn't call that a pro or a con. It's just kind of like a middle ground thing. But okay, cons. Cons. Oh my god. Okay. First things first. This movie has been delayed for years. Years, I tell you. Keep in mind, the first of these movies with Kenneth Branagh and his mustache was 2017. That Murder on the Orient Express came out 2017. This was supposed to come out in 2019. That was the initial plan. But then the Disney Fox merger happened, and so this movie suffered as a result. And it got pushed back an additional year to like 2020. Like I think it was October 2020. And you think that would be it. But then this little thing called COVID appeared and doomed this movie for what felt like a long time. Because after that, it just got pushed back like again and again and again and again. You can watch all that in the canceled series. I've covered this movie way more times than I ever thought I would. So you can watch those videos to understand my thoughts on that. But yeah, I got pushed back so much because of Disney Fox merger plus COVID plus another thing that I will get to very soon. That it's just like, does anyone even care anymore? Like, sure, plenty of big movies have gotten pushed back repeatedly, like over and over and over again. Like, say, No Time to Die being like a prime example of that. But still, people gave a damn about No Time to Die because it was the last Daniel Craig Bond movie. So at least they had that. What does this movie have? It doesn't have much of anything. It's just a sequel to Murder on the Orient Express, a movie that some people potentially forgot about because of all these delays. Like if this came out in 2019, then that first movie would still be fresh in people's eyes, but it didn't come out in 2019. So, yeah, all those delays I think did more harm than good for this movie. So I would consider that a con, just how long it took for this to get to the cinema. So that's con number one. Con number two, the cast again. All right. Now I already mentioned how they're not like big draws or anything. Like I already mentioned that. But what I didn't mention is that some of these cast members have done some, what's the word? Problematic things. That's me putting it lightly. In the past, or the recent past. Okay. I mean, Gal Gadot, she's ruffled a few feathers. She's the least offensive of the bunch. But I know she's ruffled a few feathers. Lolita Wright has definitely ruffled a few feathers with like her, I guess, thoughts and like her stance on like vaccines and all that. I don't want to get into it. I'd rather not. Russell Brand is just straight up political, like just not even being subtle about it. Like that's just what he does now. He has a whole YouTube channel which I didn't know about, but I discovered. So there's that. And then the big old elephant in the room, Army Hammer. Okay. Oh, how do I don't know how I'm gonna say this. How should I say this? Okay, so Army Hammer, you know, before the big thing that happened last year, things were going pretty well for him. I mean, yeah, I mean, well, there was Lone Ranger, which was a black mark on everyone's resume with that movie. But, he was doing fine, people liked his work. I mean, I liked him in The Social Network where he played like twins. I thought that was really impressive. But, he was in this movie and I was just okay, whatever. And then last year there was like this big old revelation, or at least a big old allegation. Not only did he was accused of sexual assault. Okay, that's bad enough, right? But then there's an extra layer of awful on top of that, where he was accused of being a cannibal. Yeah, he was apparently doing some Hannibal Lecter shit, and I was kind of speechless. I think a lot of people were speechless when that happened, and because of all that bad PR, he got dropped from a lot of movies, a lot of projects, and his career kind of died. I'm surprised they're even putting his name in the movie. You think they want to bury it with all the bad PR that surrounded his name. And apparently, like one of the reasons why he got like the last reason why he got delayed was because of this. Apparently they contemplated on digitally removing him from the movie, but they ultimately decided not to. I guess they like it's not worth it. Like we just want this to be released and then we never think about it ever again. That's what we want to do. And yeah, so that's a whole big just yikes. That's several degrees of yikes. Uh so I would consider that a con. Just some of the cast not being well liked, and one of them being alleged of doing some really awful stuff. So that's automatic red flag for me. So that's con number two, just cast problems and stuff. Con number three. Con number three is that this is a 20th Century Studios movie. I'm pretty sure you know right now their track record has been atrocious. And this past few months, it has only gotten worse. you know, with pretty sure I can pull it up. Okay. You know, there's some like this doesn't really count like the 2019 movies because there was still Fox at that point, just before they became studios. But even with like then, like you had Dark Phoenix stinking up the joint. You had like a bunch of other smaller flops like Ad Astra. That's one. Um, there's like Stuber. There's like Art of Racing in the Rain. Ford v Ferrari did well, mainly because they actually gave a damn about that movie. Um, Underwater tanked. Call of the Wild tanked. Although that was very partially due to COVID, but it was never going to succeed ever. And then after that, things just got worse. Things got way worse. The Empty Man barely existed. So there was that. There was Free Guy did extremely well. That's like the most successful Fox 20th Century Studios movie ever. But even after that, things were terrible. Last Duel, Ron's Gone Wrong were embarrassments. West Side Story was a disaster. The King's Man was a disaster. So yeah, that's not good. That's an awful track record. And will this movie do any better? I doubt it. I really do. But you know, yeah, just the whole track record of 20th Century Studios has been abysmal, and I don't think this movie's gonna improve it that much. So, track record of 20th Century Studios, that's a con for me. That is a big con. So there's that. Another con, obviously, Sunday is the Super Bowl. That's gonna do some damage. Although with the type of audience it's going for, I think it's going for more the female side of things. It's more like female centric than male centric. So it'll be hurt less, but it's still gonna get hurt. Even though Valentine's Day is like the next day, so it will only be temporary. But still, this movie's only gonna have really a 2-day weekend to thrive. So yeah, that's a con right there. Um Anything else I can think of? I can't I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it. So opening weekend, well, while no, I was thinking about the ads. Like I've seen ads for this. It's not like a big old ad campaign, but it's more than I thought. I thought they would pull an Empty Man and just release one trailer and then never talk about it ever again. But I was wrong. So there's that. But anywho, yeah, opening weekend. Okay, so the last movie, Murder on Orient Express, opened with 28 million. That is not going to happen with this. There's no way in hell that's happening. So, but I am going to say it's going to open between 15 to 20 million. I think it can do that at the very least. 15 to 20 million. And then its total, I don't know, man. Between 40 and 50 million, maybe a bit more. It might have some legs. But yeah, I think it's gonna do quite a bit worse than the first movie, which is bad because this cost quite a bit more. So that's a double negative right there. And uh, yeah, that's it for Death on the Nile. So yeah, all right, that's it for that. I got one more movie to talk about this weekend. That's Marry Me, and then that's it for the weekend. The next weekend, another three. Fantastic. I got The Cursed, I got Dog, and I got Uncharted. And then the week after that, I only have one movie, Cyrano, it don't matter. And that's the end of February. Then I do the Batman in March, and then the week after that's a dead weekend, and then pretty much every week after that, for the most part, it's just gonna be constant predictions. So, but that's not so like much later. So, yeah. Anywho, yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, share the whole drill. Want to check out more videos like this? Got playlists on the homepage with all previous prediction videos I made this year. Still not a lot, but it's quickly growing. So all the 2022 movies and then all the 2021, 2020, 2019. You can find them all in the playlist tab. Very easy to do so. So go watch them all. There's the canceled series where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. I covered Death on the Nile several times in the past. I think the episode numbers were there was 19, there's 25, there's 30, and there was 50. I think those were the ones I covered definitely. Definitely covered those. It was always grouped in with like other Disney movies. So if like one Disney movie fell, they all fell at once. And yeah, so if you want to watch those videos or any that I don't think it's just those. There might be one more after that. But I cover any video where I directly cover Death on the Nile. If you want to watch those, go right ahead. And plus all the others, there's 106 episodes. The most recent one I did was about like Firestarter, like some Stephen King movie getting a Peacock and theater treatment date thing. So you can watch that. But yeah, all the other episodes, you can watch them all in chronological order, go nuts. It'll be quite the fascinating watch just to see how things have crumbled in the past 2 years. So have fun doing that. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. I just did January recently. February, that won't be till the first weekend of March, like first week. Either before the Batman or a little after the Batman. That's when it'll likely come out. So stay tuned for that. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I've done on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.